Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. Hey, pretty disgusting day out there, very humid. At least it's not raining, but you can see there's that low pressure. It's pretty evident on the radar here that we have, and you can see there are some more showers in Pennsylvania and a few up in Connecticut. So, yeah, we're going to start seeing some more rain again shortly. Looking at our weather map here, you can see here's that low cold front coming through, though the air behind it won't be all that cold. And right now we're in the warm sector of this whole thing. And you see here that there's our low again. And see there are the fronts right there. And the humidity is just riding up straight from the tropics. And it's quite warm out there. So let's take a look at our current conditions. Let's actually take a look at the satellite image first. Again, showing you this conveyor belt of tropical moisture that's coming up along this front here. So we're going to definitely be getting into some heavy rain overnight and some stronger winds too possible as well. There's your low, and there's that tap all the way from the Gulf of Mexico. So yeah, this is really warm, humid, disgusting air that we are in right now. So let's take a look and see what we have going on in our area. And it looks like there are some high wind warnings for western New York, and that's surrounded by wind advisories. I don't see any of that for our area, but we'll have to see how bad it's going to get. But you can see how warm it is out there. We're 55 degrees at Islip. Dew point's 52. And yeah, mid 50s across the entire area. Even on the South Shore, it's not much, just a little bit of relief. Going into Jersey, it's even warmer there. Close to 60 in the Pine Barrens west of Toms River. 59 degrees there with a dew point of 54. So, yeah, very warm. You can see some of these wind gusts also picking up as well. Very warm, very humid. Tropical feel out there. Again, this air is coming straight from the tropics. So let's take a look at what our high temperatures were today across the area. And probably the current temperatures or the highs probably, so mid-50s. For some reason, Central Park is showing 68. Yeah, possibly Central Park. That might be a mistake. I'm not sure. But you can see definitely for Jersey, they've gotten into the mid-60s today. Much of New Jersey's gotten to the mid-60s. Come on, show up. Yeah, mid-60s, 60. Yeah, so it's very warm. For this time of the year, that's over 20 degrees above normal for the high, and the lows obviously didn't really drop all that much. Yeah, mid 40s, that was this morning. And temperature's going to keep on rising through the night. Let's see how much rainfall we've gotten overnight. It probably isn't all that much. Yeah, just under the quarter of an inch. And we'll be picking up some more rain overnight. Yeah, really just a tropical feel out there. Yeah, it's yucky out there, sure. And you can see that this air mass is just coming all the way from the tropics, so it's not a surprise that we see that. And we're going to see those temperatures continue to stay where they're at or go even higher tonight. And actually, I want to talk about that before we talk about the long range. I usually don't do that, but because we have a weather event coming in tonight, I have to talk about that first. All right, so obviously we have this front coming through, and that's going to bring in some. Let's go to the models now. All right, and you can see we have this low here going into the Great Lakes, and this front coming through. It's going to bring us some heavy rain overnight. So before I get to that, let's just go over weather statistics today. No records were broken today, but the high of 56 at Islip. 15 degrees above normal, low 47, 20 degrees above normal, putting us 18 degrees above normal for the day. By the way, month to date at Islip, the rainfall is 5.28, so it's above normal, above the normal of 4.43, and we're going to be picking up more of that, of course. For New York, Central Park, I think that 68 was a mistake, so it says 60. That's 19 degrees above normal for the day. High of 60, low of 50, 19 degrees above normal. So rainfall still below normal, but I'm sure it will be coming back up as we get more rain tonight. It's really crappy air mass. Just don't even feel well going out in there. You know, before I want to check that, let's go to the Earth old school. We're going to check some things here with the air quality. Because it seemed like the air quality was pretty bad today. Um, let's see if I can find out how to use this air. All right, so this is the air. We're going to go to chemicals, and we're going to see what we've got. Elevated. Yep, I know it. There's some elevated carbon monoxide in the air. Elevated carbon dioxide as well. So, yeah, air quality not all that good. That kind of makes sense, I guess. Maybe a little bit of PM. 2 air from the tropics is never, I mean, especially at this time of the year, it's never that great. And we still have those ocean temperatures that are still well above normal, by the way. Just show you the sea surface temperature anomaly. It's not terrible, but still see that stripe of above normal there. So let's go to the models and talk about this system that we have coming through tonight, and then we'll go more into the long range. Let's look at the HRRR model. The 0Z run. So here comes your low, and you see those isobars tights. That means the winds are going to pick up, and there's going to be an LLJ in there. You can see it's just going to be a line. Mainly the line's going to move through probably before sunrise, and then that's it. It's over. But it can still bring us another a half an inch to perhaps an inch, and maybe even more than that, depending on where these things wind up. Go to the NAM. Here's the NAM, even a little more robust with the precipitation, but similar idea. And there could even be a thunderstorm with this as well. So, you can see those areas of red there. Those could be thunderstorms there. It seems like it gets more juice as it gets out over the ocean. So, more rain perhaps for Suffolk County. Yeah, there could definitely be some thunderstorms in there too as well. And again, some of that could tap into some pretty strong winds. Let's see if we can get the 850 wind. Yeah, here we go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So here's your LLJ right here. So when this line's moving through, there could be some brief, strong winds with this. And if a thunderstorm meets the right criteria, it could even be a severe thunderstorm warning for one of these storms. Especially, it seems like it gets a little more organized, especially over Suffolk County there. So this is an impressive looking LLJ on the NAM for sure. And I want to actually go to the Ventusky site, and we'll take a look at wind gusts on this as well as we're going through the night. Now, they have not issued a wind advisory for tonight, but you can see there could be some wind gusts 40 miles an hour. So I think a wind advisory really should be issued. Even though the winds won't be lasting that long, you can see as we get later in the night, the winds pick up even more. And then when those showers move through, that's where we could see the stronger winds aloft being pulled down to the surface, and possibly some isolated 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts with the showers that come on through. All right. And I want to let's go aloft a little bit now. We're going to go to 1,600 feet, I guess. Yeah, that's good. Just to show you where the LLJ, again, you can see at 1,600 feet, which isn't that high up. You can see here we got wind gusts. Winds are blowing at over 60 miles an hour. So this is the strength of the LLJ. So there could be some scattered power outages with some of these, especially because any storms, any showers or thunderstorms that will be convective in nature could bring these winds down to the surface. Looking at thunderstorm, there actually is a little bit of cape too here, showing on here too. So it's possible that we could see a severe thunderstorm or two, even though nobody is saying that we may. This system has had a history of severe weather in the south, so it's already got a history of it, even though it won't be like it is in the south here. There's still a little bit of that energy left over. So, yeah, we could definitely see some of that as well. I want to go to the windy.com as well. See what the European model has for us here with the wind gusts overnight. Yeah, not quite as bad, but you got to remember, embedded in there could be, in fact, I can use the NAM, which I prefer to use. Yeah, here we go. This is the NAM, obviously a little toward the high end, but I figured I'd show it to you because it's got gusts going over 50 miles an hour. So it's entirely possible that we may see some of this come down to the surface in a shower or thunderstorm. So just keep that in mind. So we do have a weather alert for tonight. It's mainly going to be in the overnight hours, but we could have quite a big storm in the early morning hours with these strong winds. And it's just going to have to be watched right now. Right now, looking at the radar, you can see that there are some lines of, look like right around Altoona. There's a line right there. No severe thunderstorm warnings out for any of these, but there could be lightning with them. Let's see if we got any. Let's check the lightning detection here and see if we have any lightning detections in this area. I don't see any, but can't rule anything out. There could be a thunderstorm in there, so don't be surprised about that at all. It's entirely possible at this point. Looking across the country, you can see again they have mostly the stronger winds near the center of the low. You can see their gusts up to 43, but you can see that behind this front it'll be drier, but the air isn't all that cool, and you already have dense fog advisories. So we have to wait until later this week. You can see that there's another storm system causing winter weather in the Montana, in the Rockies, northern Rockies, but and some red flag warnings. Of course, and we got a bunch of red flag warnings here because of the wind in Texas. But we can talk a little more about the longer range. Let's go to the change the model here, the GFS, and change it to North America, and we'll go ahead and we'll change it to the Jetstream. So you'll see what's going to be happening and what's going to be changing. Obviously, it's going to be kind of we'll have another shot at rain New Year's Eve, unfortunately, and then we start seeing some more troughing develop. First in the west and then moving toward the east. And this is going to bring in some colder air as well as opportunities for snow in our area. So let's go to the 500 MB. You can see there's this system for that's tonight, then another system for Wednesday, and then that starts digging in the cold air for us, all right? You can see there's a block around Greenland. So that's going to keep the trough in place. And you can see some really deep troughing here. And the way those isobars are pointing right out of the Arctic, that means Arctic air masses as we get into January. And it looks like it's going to be staying that way because we have a Greenland block here. So it's going to keep the Arctic air. You got this as the perfect pattern for a prolonged cold pattern that we haven't seen for a while. That's long, long overdue. Let's go look at the European. I'm sure we'll see a similar look here, hopefully. So there's your European. Yep, similar look. Yep, look at that. It's pointing right out of the Arctic. So that means cold air. So after we have a mild end to 2024, things will be changing. We'll look at the temperature anomaly chart. I think we can do it with the European. So right now, obviously, everything is way, way above normal. And you can see all the warm air even way up into Canada, too, which is nuts. If we go look at some of these observations here, even well up into Canada here, it's above freezing, which is, you have to go, yeah, I mean, this is mild for this area in winter time, so well above freezing, but that is going to change as we see this change develop. Here comes the cold air, starts coming in as we get toward the weekend, and then it kind of sticks and stays, but it's kind of an upside down pattern a little bit. The cold air is kind of, you have still a lot of heat in northeast Canada, which is really unusual to see. So it's kind of weird the way it's setting up, but we will be seeing the cold air. Though it looks like, according to the European, a lot of it winds up going down to the south and not really into our area so much, according to the way the European has, because it's got a blocking bubble of warmth here. It's just kind of strange. But, I mean, if you look at the last frame, if you look at the actual last frame and temperature anomaly, it might have it colder in parts of Florida than parts of the Northeast, which is pretty weird. So that's the European. Let's go to the GFS now. And I'll move this up again so you see all that anomalous warmth that we have in eastern Canada. GFS, definitely you can see that cold air definitely comes into the whole northeast there. But you can see how it kind of dives. This is coming down from not eastern Canada, but down central Canada through the Great Lakes and then wrapping around the system. So this is kind of an upside down, kind of weird pattern. It has it very much above normal in Greenland too, which is very weird. So is it a polar vortex? I wouldn't say it is. But it is kind of a prolonged cold pattern for sure, because we have that Greenland blocking there. So now let's go and look at the surface. Obviously right now, yeah, we're dealing with this disgusting mess, but let's go look at the surface. Obviously this low goes by, then we get a break tomorrow, though it'll still be mild, and then dry for much of Tuesday, and then rain starts coming back on Tuesday night with the next system that brings us another batch of rain overnight. And then Wednesday will be kind of unsettled, cloudy, and a cyclonic flow, so don't expect too much sunshine. And then we start getting into that prolonged flow that's opening up the gates for the Arctic air to come on in. As you can see here, this is the GFS, and then with that setup, we might even have a chance of maybe a snowstorm or two here. This is going way out. It's a week from tomorrow, but that could be a snow event right there. There could be a few more in there, so you can see really cold air. It's a really cold look to it. All right, European. Here's the European. There's your first system, your second system for New Year's Eve. And then you can see, again, that cold air. Look at that. That's cold. I know it's cold air because this is Saturday. European's a little faster with it. It's actually forming ocean effect offshore, so you know that's pretty cold air that we're going to have. And the European's a little more suppressed with that system, but still, that looks like a very cold pattern for sure. So let's go look at, I don't know if you want to use the word polar vortex. It doesn't quite look like a polar vortex, but whatever the case is, it's a cold look for sure. We have that. We're going to be in that prolonged cold wet flow, so we haven't seen something like this for a while. Being that we're on the European, let's go and look and just show you how this is all how this affects the temperatures here. All right, so as we go, so it's still mild, still kind of mild. And then as we get into the new year, you start seeing the changes. 30s as we get toward Thursday, Friday, struggling to the mid-30s. Saturday, maybe only upper 20s. Sunday gets even colder than that, only 20s. So we may not be above freezing for days according to this. You can see that here. We're going to be cold for a while here, staying cold. All right, so you can see that look. But of course, if we pull this out a little bit, you'll see that the really coldest of the air dives down to the south. I mean, look at this. It's Friday morning. You can see that it's way colder in the south than it is here. So it's kind of, like I said, kind of weird how it does that. GFS, on the other hand, has a completely different look. It was a little more delayed with the cold, but it has the way you're going to see that cold air come on in, and we're not going to be above freezing for days. You can see that. So this gives you the kind of an idea of what we have to look forward to here. It's pretty chilly weather. We're going to be below freezing for quite a while, so this is going to be a nice little stretch of cold weather. There's something we haven't seen in a while. It's kind of long overdue, in my opinion. Hopefully we'll have a couple of days where it really struggles to get to even get to the mid-20s like that day. Yeah, I went to Jersey. That was such a great day. It was clear. Well, we'll have to see if we get a clear. I can't forecast the clouds that far out, but let's go a little more short term. We already looked at the HRRR precipitation, but let's go and look at temperatures. You can see that warm air tonight. Temperatures aren't dropping very much tonight. Staying in the mid-50s tomorrow. Tomorrow it'll start cooling off a little more as the day goes on. So later in the day, towards sunset, we'll probably drop into the 40s tomorrow night. By Tuesday morning, we'll be in the 30s, and then we have temperatures a little bit cooler on Tuesday, and then there will be our next system that we would have to watch out for, obviously. Dew points. Obviously, very humid. The humidity is high, and we're not going to see that drop until we get toward after 11 a.m. tomorrow, and then we'll start seeing the humidity drop. West-southwest wind, which is not exactly a cool direction, and then the dew points drop a little more into the 30s. And then for Tuesday, we already start to see the dew points start rising again with the next system coming in here. Now, as far as New Year's Eve goes, oh, that's not the right one. We may be dealing with rain already moving into the picture as early as 5 or 6 o'clock. So the question is, what is it going to be doing exactly when the ball drops? Well, right now, it's hard for me to say. It might wind up moving through a little quicker, but you see that there's showers and possible thunderstorms here in the mix. So there could even be a thunderstorm in here as well. Of course, right now, that's too soon to forecast, but it definitely has that convective look just by looking at it. Now, as far as skies go, let's go to the RGM. Obviously, skies for tomorrow, starting off with clouds, and then I think by the afternoon, after maybe noon, we may see the sun come out for a little bit. And then for Tuesday, we start with the sun, and then the clouds kind of lower and thicken, and then definitely be overcast before sunset, I think. And then behind this system here, you'll see plenty of clouds that we're going to have to deal with here, probably for Wednesday. And this is as far as the RGM goes. If I want to go any further out looking at skies, then I got to use the GFS, which is a low resolution model. But maybe we've shot at some sunshine Thursday. Friday, it looks like there may be more clouds. And then the weekend, that Arctic air starts moving in. So we'll have to see. You may have that, convective. You might have that lake effect debris right now. Too impossible to give an actual cloud cover forecast that far out, so I can't do that. But generally speaking, it will be on the dry side, probably, unless we get a snowstorm. But again, that's right now. There are a couple of chances, but with that cold, dry air in place, it probably will be drier than normal. So let's go ahead and look at our 6 to 10 day outlook here. And has precipitation near normal for us, has it above normal for much of the middle part of the country and below normal for the northern part of the Northeast. But you'll notice that stripe of below normal weather that we're in there, stretching from the upper Midwest into the East Coast, Mid-Atlantic in particular. Excellent chances of below normal in the 6 to 10 days. So that's a sign of a ridge in the west, trough in the east. And as we go to 8 to 14 day, you'll see here, look at that below normal. Gets even more impressive here for the 8 to 14 day. And most of that being in the mid-Atlantic. And near normal precipitation chances are slightly above for Florida. So that's what we have. That's what we are looking at right now as far as what we have in our forecast. And again, just an example of the kind of cold that we have. Again, this is going to get colder as the week goes on. So showing you the temperatures again here on the GFS. You'll see here after we get into 2025, temperatures are only going to be in the mid-40s on New Year's Day, and then we drop into the mid-30s for highs for Thursday, and then Friday it's mid-30s. Saturday starts getting a little bit colder each day. So, and then by Monday we're struggling to get above freezing. So you can see what we have here, right? And the URO is faster with the cold air, right? But you can see, look at this really cold air that comes in, especially toward the later part of the second week here. That's a really, really cold air there. And really dry air, too. Look at the dew points, too, as well. Dew points and wind flow. And you can see here, the dew points are also very low. To single digits. We can kind of look at the dew points, too, as well this week. You can see, again, that drier air comes in. The dew points drop quite low. Single digits. Here's Saturday. You can see that really cold. And then look at Monday. Wow, we really get that. There's a storm there that would pull some of that air down. The question is, that would be our next chance of snow at this point. Going that far out, it's really hard to predict. But you can see this is definitely going to be Arctic air that's going to be with us for quite some time. And then again, with that storm's going by, and we have a shot at some snow just for fun. We can do the total snowfall forecast. You can see that it does have a storm that would generally bring snowfall to New Jersey, maybe a couple of inches there. That would be the first storm. I mean, this is way, way out. stuff, but you can see here that it definitely is the potential for some snow. Hopefully we get some, because I know we haven't seen any. We hardly saw any last winter, so it's kind of important that we do get some. So that, I think, will wrap up this Long Island weather report. We can just briefly look at there's a winter weather forecast that we can do. Day 7, you can see it kind of shows the winter weather. It's got any chances for winter weather over us? It does not. We do day 3 through 7. But yeah, it's not really going to give us a snowfall forecast or anything like that. But wherever you have, this is the QPF forecast, by the way. So this kind of shows you when we're going to get our rain. There's New Year's Eve, and then it's kind of dry after. We'd have to watch that next storm. Yeah, they seem to think it's going to be suppressed, so we'll see. The Euro obviously is. I don't think we get Euro. I don't think this gives us snowfall output on the Euro. It does not. So, whatever the case is, the Euro obviously is a little different with these storm systems. It's more suppressed. So we'll have to see what happens, but it will be turning colder, so get ready for it. After today, I'm looking forward to it today because it was kind of just disgusting out there. I can't wait to say goodbye to this weather. It's horrible. Anyway, have a good night.